to the roof of the net. Nice one. Straight down the middle. So a good performance.
Hi, you're watching Firstpost. I'm Rupha Ramani. Let's get started. On the show today, Indian men's cricket team made a strong comeback in the test against Bangladesh to take a commanding position on day 2. But we look at the trolls who've taken digs at the Indian batting lineup, particularly Virat, Kohli and Shubman Gill. Does it reflect a toxic culture? Barcelona, meanwhile, lose their Champions League game. The one fighter proved to be 17-year-old Lamine Yamal, who has gained a superstar fan even in Barcelona's loss. Stay on to know more on that. And the heated exchange between NFL star Tyreek Hill and 100-meter champion at Paris Noah Lyles has hit a fever pitch. It all began with Lyles mocking NFL and Hill. Will we see the two challenge each other in person? All of that coming up on the show. But first, let's take a look at the headlines on Sports 360. Starting with cricket, Australia beat England in the first of the 5-match ODI series. Batting first, England posted 315. Travis Head spearheaded the Aussie run chase and scored an unbeaten 154 runs. Australia won the match by 7 wickets with 6 overs to spare. And over at Chepauk at the first test, day 2 of the first test between India and Bangladesh, visitors wrapped up India's first innings at 376. In response, the Indian bowlers ran riot, bundling Bangladesh out for 149. Jasprit Bumrah was the pick of the bowlers with 4 wickets. Coming out to bat a second time, India ended the day 81 for 3. Shubman Gill and Rishabh Pant were at the crease. Over in football, Arsenal's Champions League opener against Atlanta ended in a goalless draw. Both Arsenal and Atlanta had a night to forget. For Arsenal, Bukayo Saka and Gabriel Martinelli failed to convert their chances in the first half. In the end, Arsenal was saved by goalkeeper David Raya, who made a double save. Over in baseball, Shohei Ohtani became the first ever baseball player to hit 50 home runs and steal 50 bases in one single season. He achieved this during the Dodgers game against Miami Marlins, where they won 20-4. Ohtani hit 3 home runs and raised his steals total to 51 in this game. And MotoGP, Hungary will host a MotoGP race for the first time in 33 years. A race will be organized at the Balaton Park circuit starting next season. Hungary last hosted MotoGP in 1990 and then 1992. The race is set for the last weekend of August next year. It was a bit of a strange day 1 of the test between India and Bangladesh men's cricket teams. A 24-year-old troubled, 25-year-old rather, troubled the famed Indian batting lineup. The only 100 came from the bat of a spinner in front of his own home crowd. Bangladesh managed to bowl just 80 overs instead of 90 in a single day. And at the end of day 2, though, India is firmly in command thanks to Jasprit Bumrah bundling Bangladesh out for 149. But it has been a bit of a forgetful test so far for some of the best batters in world cricket: Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli and Shubman Gill. They were outwitted by a young pacer who's growing to becoming a symbol of Bangladesh cricket. And Gill, with that duck, has joined a not-so-envious list alongside Virat Kohli of scoring 3 ducks in a single year. Kohli achieved that feat in 2021. But it was this image that you see behind me of Kohli and Gill sharing a laugh with their new head coach Gautam Gambhir that has got netizens going. This was apparently snapped right after their short stints out in the middle on day 1. India were in a spot of bother, especially when Rishabh Pant also got sent back, with the Indian total not even reaching 100. But the star of the innings was homeboy R. Ashwin and Ravindra Jadeja, who steadied the ship with their partnership, Ashwin notching up a memorable 100. But I'm digressing here. The photo we were speaking about was this one. What I see is a beautiful moment between a coach and his players. I mean, look at that. When was the last time you saw Virat Kohli and Gautam Gambhir sharing a laugh together? That's the one I'm talking about. We've only seen them like this, engaged in a heated conversation, ready to tear into one another if given a chance. So this picture during the test that happened on day 1 is definitely a sight for for sore eyes. But that's not what Indian fans particularly felt. They ripped into the batters. One particular troll went on to say that Shubman Gill was India's Babar Azam. He definitely meant that as a jibe. Babar Azam had a very poor outing against Bangladesh in the Test series preceding this one, but the Pakistan captain just scored 100 in the Champions ODI Cup tournament. So maybe Gill's big one also is around the corner. But the trolls spared no one. Day one had quite the meme fest, including taking digs at Indian captain Rohit Sharma. Great video editing also in all of those memes. But look, I get it. Some things are in good humor. It's all fine. After all, everyone learns to laugh at themselves a little bit along the way. And no one does that better than Rohit Sharma himself. His press conferences are a rage, enough to leave you in splits. But my point is regarding the caustic tweets and harsh comments that Kohli and Gill were subjected to. Yes, they've had a bad day. We've all had our share of bad days in our professional spaces. There are days when some of us probably don't even feel like getting to work. But Virat Kohli and Shubman Gill do not have that option. They cannot call in sick in the middle of a test. They can't bunk a day because they weren't feeling so great. It's a tough act to execute, being an international cricketer, and it's tougher when things aren't going your way. Virat Kohli and Shubman Gill having a laugh with Gautam Gambhir despite getting out without scoring is exactly the kind of dressing room we all should aspire to have a piece of in our offices, where there is laughter, especially when things aren't going your way, where jokes can be cracked upon failures, and the atmosphere is a little more relaxed, especially when all is not too well out on the field. There should be no fear because that only makes players overcautious, making them second guess every move they make. Imagine being all grim and solemn and serious every single moment of the day. There is enough pressure that everyone, particularly international cricketers, face every day. The pressure riding on someone like Virat Kohli, for instance, is immense. We're living at a time when toxic work culture across countries, including India, is dominating conversations everywhere. The stressful nature of jobs across sectors, that has even taken lives. So maybe next time, before any of you think of trolling a sports player for having a laugh at the end of a bad day, think of what you would want to do after a rotten day at work. A new manager in Hansi Flick, an unbeaten Barcelona side in La Liga. The club was expected to make light work of the French side AS Monaco in their Champions League game. But it didn't exactly pan out as Flick and Barcelona had hoped it would. They lost 1-2 to Monaco. The scoreline doesn't tell you the complete story though, because yet again it was the 17-year-old Lamine Yamal who saved Barcelona the blushes even in a loss. But before we get to Yamal and how Barcelona found merit despite a defeat, let me set this one up for you. Barcelona's Eric Garcia was shown the red card in the 10th minute. A poor ball from Barcelona goalkeeper Marc-Andre ter Stegen forced Garcia to catch the ball, which led to his red card. The weak link in that squad, in fact, was Stegen. But we will get to that a little bit later. A send-off that early in the game means you're already up against the wall. Easy math there, 10 men, one of which is a goalkeeper, against 11. That's like giving somebody a 3-second head start in a 100-meter race. So given the advantage, Monaco drew first blood. They scored in the 16th minute, a side down to 10 men and 1-0 on the scoreboard. But that's when the champion mindset of this Barcelona setup came into the picture. This isn't the Barcelona of 2023. This one is a revived squad under Hansi Flick.
Today you see this situation with a red card after 11 minutes. It changed our match plan. But we were strong enough to play a good Champions League. We have 7 matches ahead and I think we will win many matches.
Pretty early to make a statement like this, but what we witnessed yesterday was an old Barcelona, the one of early 2000s. A lot of talent, potential, yes, but most importantly, the mindset to stay undefeated till the very end. Despite being on the back foot, Barcelona didn't continue with the old mindset of just defending. Instead, they went all out in attack mode. And leading that charge was 17-year-old Lamine Yamal, who scored his first Champions League goal and put Barcelona back into the game, leveling the scores. Enough to make NBA icon Michael Jordan and Barcelona supporters very, very happy. And while Jordan has never openly spoken about his allegiance to a football club, maybe this goal from Yamal did it. And while Yamal led the fight right till the 71st minute, a little more support from the rest could have saved a point for Barcelona. Yes, they were down to 10 men, but it wasn't just the lack of players on the pitch. It was Stegen's soft game while the rest were trying to battle that probably led to Barcelona ending up on the losing side. Stegen allowed Monaco's first goal near the post, and even the winner scored by George Ilanikena went straight through him as he dived early. Had Yamal found some support from Stegen in the game, the result could have been different. So clearly there was a villain and a hero for Barcelona on the very same night. The hero, of course, being 17-year-old Yamal, who continues to gain fandom across the world. First for his impressive season with Barcelona last summer, the Euros victory with Spain right after, and then, of course, this. Enough to earn praise from one of the legends of the sport.
I see a lot of talent in Lamine Yamal. I hope he does not have any problems in the future. He needs a bit of luck because he is still very young, but I think he will be one of the best in this generation, for sure.
Ronaldo, a true Real Madrid supporter, appreciating a Barcelona talent, shows that Yamal has got something indeed. This was before the Champions League match, though, the statement that Ronaldo made, but Yamal made those words ring true when he helped Barcelona take the game deep. And it isn't just the way Yamal scores goals for the talent he possesses at such a young age. It's the courage he has despite being a teenager, despite less experience. About 2 months ago, Yamal's father, Muni Narsui, was stabbed in Spain's Mataró. Narsui was in critical condition for a week. He was kept in the ICU, and while Muni did manage to recover, it was a troubled few weeks for the youngster. An incident like that before the start of a new season is enough to derail a young player's focus. But Yamal didn't let that hold him back. He started the season with Barcelona, didn't miss a game, and of course led Barcelona's charge in La Liga, and of course now at Champions League too. In 6 months, he's already scored 4 goals and assisted 4 times. A dream start to his campaign. Despite the limelight, he hasn't gotten carried away. He stays grounded, and even after he scored the goal in this Champions League game, there was a smile on his face. No rash celebration. A grounded Yamal just doing his business, proving that football indeed makes all his worries go away, and it's this sport that makes him a true champion. Now, we all love a sporting crossover like Novak Djokovic playing cricket with Steve Smith, Virat Kohli playing football with David Beckham. That's all in good spirit, though. There is genuine respect, camaraderie and admiration between the superstars for each other. No hard feelings there. But imagine a crossover of an NFL star and an Olympic gold medalist. And not for any brand or charity event, but because of a grudge. Now, we could see that happening between NFL star and Miami Dolphins wide receiver Tyreek Hill and Olympic runner Noah Lyles. The two have been involved in a verbal war of words, and that is threatening to translate into the racetrack. The latest shot has been fired by Noah Lyles, bragging about his world title and mocking Tyreek Hill. But where did all of this start? The feud has been going on for over a year now. Yes, Noah Lyles started it all by saying NBA and NFL players aren't really world champions. It's athletics that produces real world champions. Now, it's unfair to compare sporting disciplines. Each sport has its own challenges, skill sets and own audience. But yes, while NBA and NFL are super popular in America, NFL does not feature as a sport at the Olympics, for example, which is considered the sporting spectacle in the world. Lyles had to have known that he couldn't have possibly gotten away with this without any retort, and it came from NFL player Tyreek Hill. Hill took the insult rather personally, and why not? He's a Super Bowl champion. So he responded by throwing down the gauntlet.
Noah Lyles can't say nothing after what's just happened to him. Then he wants to come out and pretend he's sick? Just speak on what you know about, and that's track. I would beat Noah Lyles.
Of course, Hill had to bring in the Olympics, an event where Lyles walked in as favourite, touted to win 4 gold medals for America. But what followed? And we all witnessed it. He only ended up winning 1 gold in the 100-meter event, and that too by the barest of margins, 0.05 of a second. Just about managed to escape any embarrassment there. And another medal, a bronze this one, at the 200-meter event, which exploded, of course, into a bit of a storm afterwards when Lyles and his team revealed that he, in fact, had tested positive before that race, positive for COVID. The biggest disappointment, of course, coming in the relay event, where the US team was disqualified and Lyles, of course, wasn't even a part of it. He was unwell. But the loss was, of course, a collective one. So even after all that big talk from Lyles heading into the Paris Olympics, his campaign did not end all too well. So when Tyreek Hill made that jibe, Lyles, of course, took the bait, predictably so. He has been someone who has often known to have let off steam without much of a thought. He doesn't take taunts too well, clearly, especially when he himself believes that he's the poster boy of his sport, the fastest man on earth, the self-appointed heir to Usain Bolt. So Tyreek Hill's challenge was enough for Lyles to lash back. It wasn't just what this statement was or what this said, but the way Lyles said it. In fact, even before making this statement, Lyles forgot Tyreek Hill's name, referring Hill to a football cheetah. That, of course, resulted in Lyles getting trolled massively. Lyles has clearly tried to swallow more than he can possibly chew. He's not just shown the arrogant side of his mental makeup, but has rather unnecessarily taken a dig at other sportspersons along the way who've worked just as hard, toiled just as much to make it big in their own disciplines. Now, there is grace in being street smart too, in being a little cocky. It is fine to have an attitude about your skills if you are indeed able to follow that up with your act, walk the talk, as they say. And even when Tyreek Hill challenged him, Lyles could have been a sport about it. Because if Lyles is so sure of his skills, maybe beating Hill would end the debate. Given the shutterbugs, of course, something fun and great to capture, and seen 2 superstars coming together, having a bit of laugh at the end of it. He had to make this spat turn ugly. And now it can only get worse. Someone has to step down, or maybe this is heading into something far worse. Time for last serve. The Laver Cup started earlier today, but there was a lovely black carpet event to announce the start of the proceedings. Stars like Boris Becker, Roger Federer, John McEnroe, Bjorn Borg and many more, including Angelique Kerber, were all present in a glitzy affair. Take a look.
Well, it's grand, it's big, and we don't go to these red carpets every time, so it's a bit special, but it's fun, and it's really cool to be on the team. I think all the players will agree on that. We are, fierce competitors throughout the whole year, and then this week we can actually cheer for each other and hope that we all win, and it's really fun.
Just happy that it's Laver Cup week, to be honest. I love this week, seeing the guys and seeing tennis live in the stadium, so I'm really looking forward to it.
The cutest moment was, of course, Roger Federer adjusting that bow tie on Carlos Alcaraz. But that wraps up First Sports here today. Have a great weekend. I'll see you on the other side. Bye-bye.